Hi everyone, I'm Quan, the journalist of this case.
Hi, my name is Song Henyu. I will analyze this case as an IP consultant.
Today we will share you a case, the embezzlement and bribery case of Li Quan, former chairman of New China Life Insurance Company Limited, which occurred on November 19, 2025. On November 19, 2025, the Intermediate People's Court of Jinan City, Shandong Province, publicly pronounced the first instance judgment on the case of embezzlement and bribery involving Li Quan, former secretary of the party committee and chairman of New China Life Insurance Company Limited. The trial found that from June 2015 to March 2024, Li Quan, taking advantage of his position as president and chairman of New China Asset Management Company Limited, colluded with others to illegally occupy relevant business proceeds by means of deception and concealment for the purpose of illegal possession, with a total value equivalent to more than 108 million yuan. From 2010 to 2023, Li Quan used his position to provide assistance to relevant entities and individuals in business cooperation, fund subscription and other aspects, and illegally accepted property alone or in collusion with others, with a total value equivalent to more than 105 million yuan. From the perspective of ethics and social responsibility in management, Li Quan's actions are a typical case of ethical anomaly, and more importantly, a complete failure to fulfill the enterprise threefold responsibilities: economic, legal, and ethical. At the economic responsibility level, as a senior executive of a state-controlled financial enterprise, Li Quan should have fulfilled the basic duties of ensuring the safety of corporate assets and achieving compliant operations. However, his act of siphoning of corporate interests through illegal means directly violated the enterprise economic responsibility to its shareholders and disrupted the normal operational order of the enterprise. At the legal responsibility level, his action clearly violated the relevant provisions on embezzlement and bribery in the criminal law. This was a blatant violation of legal red lines, reflecting a complete disregard for the enterprise legal responsibility. At the ethical responsibility level, Li Quan's corrupt act ignored the legitimate rights and interests of stakeholders, such as policyholders, shareholders, and employees. Specifically, the safety of policyholders' insurance funds was exposed to potential risks. Shareholders suffered stock price fluctuation due to company's damaged reputation, and state-owned assets directly lost 108 million yuan. All this fully violated the ethical responsibilities that an enterprise should bear. Li Quan's decision-making logic was entirely centered on maximizing personal interests, which is a typical example of the pre-conventional level. Individuals at this stage make decisions based solely on self-serving reasons, without considering social norms, legal consequence, or the interests of others. During his 13-year corrupt career, Li Quan invited supervision through hidden means such as covering up power for money transactions in the name of market cooperation. He neither recognized the social harm of his actions nor showed awe of the severity of consequence or social consciousness, which is a typical manifestation of the lack of perception of ethical intensity.
Now, I will go through response measures and improvement suggestions for this case. After the verdict of the case, judicial organs, regulatory authorities, and enterprises have all taken corresponding actions. The Jinan Intermediate People's Court heard and pronounced judgment in accordance with the law, recovered all illegal gains and returned them to the victimized entity. This not only reflects the rigid constraints of the law, but also demonstrates the attitude of zero tolerance for financial anti-corruption, forming a strong deterrent against potential corrupt practice in the financial industry. As early as September 2024, the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection announced Li Quan's disciplinary and illegal acts of profiting from finance through financial means. The National Financial Regulatory Administration also took this case as a typical example of financial corruption to issue industry warning. strengthening the compliance supervision atmosphere in the financial industry. In August 2025, the current management of New China Life Insurance promotes measures to progressively promote compliance, reform, and strengthen internal supervision, aiming to restore the company's reputation through the ratification of its internal control system. Firstly, improve the internal control system and consolidate the institutional defense line. Establish a check and balance mechanism for senior executives' power to prohibit senior executives from concurrently holding key business positions in asset management, insurance, and other fields. Secondly, strengthen the development of management ethics and set the moral bottom line. Promote the normalization of ethics training, conduct special training on anti-interest transfer for financial senior executives. Strengthen ethical awareness by combining typical cases such as the Li Quan case, and promote the improvement of managers' moral development level from the pre-conventional level to the conventional level and even the post-conventional level. Thirdly, balance the incentive mechanism and take both performance and compliance into account. Establish an early warning system for corruption of financial senior executives, include the capital flow and the business cooperation records of senior executives during their tenure into dynamic monitoring, and trigger verification for risk points such as abnormal changes in assets within a short period after recognition. Incorporate compliance indicators into the performance appraisal system for senior executives to avoid the orientation of value performance over compliance. Finally, strengthen the development of organizational culture and form a supervision atmosphere. Set up an insurance industry ethics reporting platform to encourage employees, policyholders, and other parties to report illegal acts, such as interest transfer through anonymous means, and support it with a reporting reward mechanism. Cultivate an ethical culture within the enterprise, making compliance, operation, and adherence to ethics the conscious behavior of employees.
The Li Quan case has sounded a warning bell for all corporate executives. Power and responsibility go hand in hand, and the bottom line of ethics must never be crossed. The sustainable development of an enterprise not only relies on the ethical leadership of its executives, but also needs a sound internal control system and supervision mechanism as support. Only by integrating ethical development into all aspects of corporate management can we truly achieve a win-win situation for both corporate interests and social interests.
Let's conclude our analysis of the case from a perspective of management. We hope it can bring you some thought. Thank you for watching. Bye.